it's free. You'll be happy you called, I guarantee it.
Call to see if you can save money and get more benefits now. Don't delay. Call now. It's free. Call 1-800-989-3300. That's 1-800-989-3300 now.
The Lead with Jake Tapper. Today starting at 4 Eastern on CNN.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kate Baldwin. We have some breaking news out of the Justice Department this hour. Federal prosecutors have struck a plea deal with Maria Butina. She's the woman who was charged with illegally acting as a foreign agent for Russia for trying to infiltrate Republican circles during the 2016 campaign. You'll remember her story. Let's get over to CNN political correspondent Sarah Murray. She's in Washington. She's following all this. Sarah, what do you have?
Well, Kate, it does appear that prosecutors and Maria Butina have reached a deal. We just got a new filing from the government in connection with her lawyers, and it says the parties have resolved this matter. It's a change of plea filing. They're asking for a hearing in front of the judge as early as tomorrow morning. Now, we know originally Maria Butina had pleaded not guilty to 2 counts, one of conspiracy, one of acting as a foreign agent. This change in plea filing indicates that she's prepared to plead guilty on at least some of these charges. And of course, the big question is if she does move forward with this plea deal, if she does plead guilty on one of these charges, will she also be cooperating with the U.S. government? And if so, what would they want to learn from her? Would they want to get intel on her Russian backers, for instance, that prosecutors say she was in touch with when she was here in the U.S. acting as an American university student? Would they want to potentially get information on her boyfriend, Paul Erickson, who prosecutors believe was helping her with her plot here in the United States? Remember, the basis of prosecutors' claim was that she came here, she tried to ingratiate herself with politically influential individuals and groups, including the National Rifle Association, and then try to exploit those connections in order to further Russian interests, all of this while reporting back to her backers in Russia. And she, like everyone else, has been very unhappy to be incarcerated. Her lawyer has made a number of plays to try to remove her from jail and put her under house arrest, or at least remove her from solitary confinement. He has been completely unsuccessful in that. So we will see what the judge says on this when they set a hearing. And one of these things, you know, Kate, to keep in mind is if she does plead guilty and move forward, she's likely to be sent back to Russia once she's released.
A lot of moving parts here. All right, Sarah, great to see you. Thank you so much. All right, so we have that. And we also have this. President Trump making history, but yet again, not the kind of history that any president wants to be making. For the first time, prosecutors have directly tied President Trump to federal crimes. That was revealed in the sentencing memo of his former personal attorney, Michael Cohen. Special counsel Robert Mueller also laying out new details on what they believe Trump's former campaign chairman, Paul Manafort, lied to them about. Lies that effectively killed his plea deal with federal prosecutors. And with all of this, it might come as then no surprise that the Washington Post is reporting that among Republicans, anxiety is spiking. If all that wasn't enough for the White House, President Trump is once again on a job hunt for arguably the most important role in his White House after announcing Chief of Staff John Kelly is leaving at the end of the month. So let's get to it. CNN's Abby Phillips, she's at the White House. Abby, the president's, what everyone assumed was the president's top pick to take over as Chief of Staff, he's already saying that he's out. He's leaving the White House. What's going on there now?
Hey, Kate. Well, it is a perilous time for this White House as the specter of criminal investigations really looms large. The Mueller investigation is coming to a close. There are new developments when it comes to the president's personal attorney, Michael Cohen. And now in the midst of all of this, the president is struggling to find a replacement for White House Chief of Staff John Kelly, who the president announced would be leaving his post by the end of this year. Over the weekend, sources close to the White House and in the White House believe that the president's top choice was Nick Ayers, the vice president's chief of staff. But Ayers took his name out of consideration after he and the president couldn't come to an agreement on the terms. Now that has left President Trump really back to square one in terms of the search for a chief of staff. And he's having trouble finding people who are actually willing to take the job. There are several names who have been floating around here in the West Wing as potential replacements. And let's just go through some of them. One of them being Mark Meadows, a Republican lawmaker who's been close to this White House and close to the president. But a source tells CNN's Jeff Zeleny this morning that Meadows has been telling people close to him that he is absolutely not, that's a quote, absolutely not interested in taking the White House Chief of Staff job. And then there's Steve Mnuchin, the Treasury Secretary, whose stock is high here in the West Wing, but sources close to him have said he's happy where he is. He wants to remain at the Treasury Treasury Department, where he's been working on economic matters for President Trump. And then there is Mick Mulvaney, the Office of Management and Budget Director, who has been sent out to put out various fires for President Trump over the last year or so. Mulvaney also, according to sources, would like to stay where he is. So President Trump really is back to square one here, not really finding a lot of people who are raising their hands to come into the White House for what should be the top job in this administration, one of the most prestigious posts in Washington, Kate.
Absolutely. Great to see you, Abby. Thank you so much. Joining me right now, CNN crime and justice reporter Shimon Prokupecz, Seung-Min Kim, CNN political analyst and White House reporter for the Washington Post, and CNN legal analyst Renato Mariotti. He's also a former federal prosecutor. It's great to see you guys. Renato, let's talk about the president, the special counsel, and Michael Cohen now. For the first time, Mueller is saying that Donald Trump ordered Cohen to commit a crime, a felony. So we're back to a core question, which is, can you indict a president? The Justice Department has guidelines that says no. What do you say?
Well, I do think the Justice Department is going to follow those guidelines, Kate. But first of all, the statute of limitations on that campaign finance offense does not end till late 2021. So if President Trump doesn't run for re-election, or if he loses his re-election, he could be indicted after he left office. In addition, there is at least some possibility that that statute of limitations could be told in some way. I know I spoke over the weekend on my podcast with former Solicitor General Neil Katyal, who thought that there could be an argument that would be made, and his view is he thought it had to be, that the statute of limitations could be told. Certainly there'll be a lot of legal debate about that, but I will say if I was advising the president, I would tell him that it looks to me like the Southern District of New York, the federal prosecutors there, are looking to build a case and indict him.
No, Shimon, it's really kind of an amazing moment where we are, we say every day and every week. From everything that came out on Friday, and it was a lot, does it seem that's the direction that the Mueller team is headed?
So it's really, we're getting pieces of this crazy puzzle right now.
And it really is a real jigsaw puzzle.
So when you think about it, by our count now, there are 16 people who've had contacts with Russians from the campaign or people around the president. So it's up to 16 now. Wow. And every time Mueller does another filing, we learn more. And we learned a lot really on Friday in terms of where the Russia investigation is. Where right now, in terms of an indictment or possible charges for the president, is the U.S. Attorney's Office, is the Southern District of New York. That's where we still have so much to learn in terms of the exposure that the president has on the Mueller investigation. But it seems that he's the central figure in all of this, right? Even the payments, certainly directed, coordinated, central figure there. The Russia investigation, central figure there. And the Cohen, the revelations about the Moscow project, what these two things, when you look at what the hush payments, and when you look at the Moscow project and why Cohen lied about it, it was all to protect the president. And continuously what we're seeing is that people consistently lied to protect the president. So what was going on? Who knew who was lying? Was this coordinated? Was there a coordinated message between the White House and the folks working, who worked for the president, who were going before investigators, people on the campaign? They were conscious of what was going on politically. They've said as much. And so they were trying to tailor their statements so that they can protect the president. And that's going to be the big issue here. It all falls into this whole conspiracy, really fraud, right? You have election fraud here. You have people lying to get the president elected. That's the big thing here right now.
Yeah, and also a whole lot of redactions that leave a whole lot to be still known. Seung-Min, the first thing that we hear from the president, though, is this totally clears me. Thank you so much. So is it the White House strategy still and only that there's nothing to see here? Is that what you're hearing?
That's been the strategy for some time. We've seen over the course of the last several months how the president and his legal team have methodically tried to lower public confidence in the Mueller investigation by decrying it as a witch hunt, by calling it a band of all angry Democrats, which is not true, and with the president saying on Friday that it totally clears the president, which is also not true. So you're going to see this tactic continue over the next several months as the legal fight unfolds, because we discussed just discussed, or the other analysts discussed the legal implications, but there are also political implications. And if and when the impeachment issue comes up in Congress with a newly Democratic-led House, that's going to be a political fight. And the more that the president and his team can kind of, discredit the charges that are coming from Mueller and coming from the Southern District of New York, they think that's a card that they can play. Now, that's why you've seen Democrats for now be a little bit careful on that big impeachment question. But it's really been a remarkable shift. It's a small shift, but it's a notable shift that we saw over the weekend after the legal filings were made public with what top senior House Democrats were saying about potential impeachment proceedings. You have Jerry Nadler on CNN over the weekend saying that while he's not saying that he's going to pursue impeachment proceedings, but he's saying, look, if looking at the charges that were outlined in the filings, he says they are certainly impeachable offenses. So the more information that we see from Mueller and the more information that we see from the Justice Department, I think we're going to see Democrats dip their toes in the impeachment issue more. So that you're going to see that rhetoric from the president and his team ramp up even more as well.
Yeah, it sure seems to go in that direction. Renato, I am left, from the legal perspective, I am left wondering this one thing. With everything that's come out, we now know that Michael Cohen not only misled Congress, as he admitted to, but the special counsel says that he initially also lied to them about the Trump Tower Moscow deal. SDNY is recommending that he still get substantial jail time, but Mueller's team says that the info they got from him is credible. How do you square all of it when it comes to Michael Cohen?
So most of the cooperators that I had when I was a federal prosecutor were scumbags of one sort or another. They got themselves in a very bad situation. They had lied and committed serious crimes. And ultimately, look, they had redeeming qualities, but they had done some bad things. And the way that you credited their testimony was by looking at the corroborating evidence. And that's why, by the way, what the Southern District of New York put in that filing is so important. There is no way in heck that Rob Khuzami and those experienced prosecutors in the Southern District of New York would have put their reputations on the line on the say-so of Michael Cohen. So there's clearly a significant amount that's there. That's why they made those conclusions. That's why the probation department agreed with them.
Real quick, we're wrapping up the end of the year, coming fast and furious, but I assume this is not the last you expect that we've heard from Mueller.
No, we still have the whole Jerome Corsi issue, the Roger Stone, and when you read these filings that came out on Friday, there seems to be a lot more going on.
Sure does.
A lot more people. They don't mention people by name, right? And this is how you know if you're in any way mentioned in these court documents, whether you're a senior administration official or person one, person two, there are certain people we don't know about. You could be in trouble if you think you're in these court documents. So it's clear that there is a lot more to come. And the other thing on the Michael Cohen thing is that, there's a report, right? Even though he may not be so trustworthy, there are parts of what the Mueller team found very useful. I mean, they said it was significant.
Yeah.
It went to the core of their investigation. So he may be helping them fill out some holes as they prepare this report. We cannot forget about this report that's going to be coming out or that they're putting together, whether or not it becomes public. But Michael Cohen could have provided intelligence or kind of could have closed some loose ends that they needed help with. So while he may not be a credible witness in court, in terms of an investigation, they found him to be useful. So that's how. So look, I think there is a lot to come.
Yeah.
And we'll see. A lot of people say it could get a lot worse. We'll see. But it's certainly these court documents tell us that there are a lot more people who are going to have
problems. It always
problems.
seems to be prepare for Fridays.
Yeah.
That's what always seems to happen. Great to see you, Shimon. Guys, thank you, Renato Sundman. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. Coming up for us, impeachment and even imprisonment. Top Democrats, they're now dipping their toe a little more in that water, saying they both are possible for President Trump. Why? And how will the president respond? We'll be right back.
I want to be with you. Yes, I do. Everywhere you go, I want to be with you.
The greatest wish of all is one that brings us together. The Lincoln Wishlist event is here. Sign and drive off in a new Lincoln with 0 down, 0 due at signing, and a complimentary first month's payment. Only at your Lincoln dealer.
Iconic luxury items from Chanel, Louis Vuitton, Hermes, Gucci, Rolex, and hundreds more at up to 90% off retail. All authenticated by our experts. Real luxury Unreal value. Only at The RealReal. Download the app and get 20% off select items with the code REAL.
Attention homeowners. Quicken Loans wants you to know that the U.S. government's Home Affordable Refinance Program, or HARP, is ending on December 31st. If you're not familiar with HARP, it's a U.S. government program designed specifically for homeowners who have little or no equity. A great feature of the HARP program is that most HARP refinance loans don't require an appraisal, and there are fewer income verification requirements. That makes it simple and fast. And even if you've been denied for a HARP loan in the past, new guidelines mean that you now may be eligible. Time is running out for you to take advantage of this money-saving mortgage program. Because your window of opportunity is closing soon, take action by calling Quicken Loans today. Nearly 3.5 million homeowners have already taken advantage of HARP, but there are so many more of you who could be saving hundreds of dollars every month on your mortgage. As America's largest mortgage lender, Quicken Loans fully understands all the HARP guidelines. We'll work with you to understand your specific circumstances and strive to find the financial solution that's best for you. Then we'll guide you through each step of the mortgage refinance process. With Quicken Loans, you can feel confident because our process is simple, not complex. You can also feel confident knowing we're #1 in the nation. For 9 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the 5th year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. Give us a call and we'll give you a Quicken Loans mortgage review. You'll see how we can help you save money on your mortgage. Again, HARP is ending December 31st. Take action now to benefit from this money-saving mortgage program. Call Quicken Loans today or go to quickenloans.com to save money on your mortgage with HARP.
If you're looking for the perfect holiday gift for someone special to you, give a gift that will be truly appreciated. The Omaha Steaks Favorite Gift Package. It's filled with $232 worth of great food for just $59.99. That's 74% off only on this special holiday offer. The people on your nice list will receive 4 tender, mouth-watering filet mignons, 4 extra thick boneless pork chops, 4 premium boneless chicken breasts, 4 classic juicy Omaha Steaks burgers, 4 stuffed baked potatoes, and 4 caramel apple tartlets. Your order will be delivered straight to your home or the destination of your choice, so you can give this wonderful gift to anybody on your holiday list. As a special holiday gift from us to you, if you order right now, we'll include 4 additional Omaha Steaks burgers free. That's 8 total. You get it all. Omaha Steaks Favorite Gift Package, a $232 value for just $59.99. Give everyone a gift they can appreciate. Give them the Favorite Gift Package from Omaha Steaks today.
Closed captioning brought to you by Farberware Neat Nest. Stacked and intact.
Neat Nest by Farberware. Ingenious space-saving design. So you can go from this to this. Farberware Neat Nest. Stacked and intact.
For so long, most top Democrats were hesitant, to say the least, to even use the word impeachment. Well, hesitant no more, it seems. Incoming top Democrats are now openly discussing impeachment and even jail time for President Trump, based on the new court filings by the special counsel and federal prosecutors. Listen to this.
Well, they would be impeachable offenses. Whether they are important enough to justify an impeachment is a different question, but certainly they'd be impeachable offenses because even though they were committed before the president became president, they were committed in the service of fraudulently obtaining the office. That would be that would be an impeachable offense.
An important statement from who could be the incoming chairman of the House Judiciary Committee. CNN's congressional correspondent Phil Mattingly, he's on the Hill for us. Phil, what are you hearing from lawmakers on this?
Look, Kate, I think there's no question about it. Everybody who's reading through the filings, particularly people on the Judiciary Committee on the Democratic side who will be in the majority next year, certainly took what they saw on Friday and were unsettled by it and thinking about what the next steps were. But I think it was important to also make a clear distinction about what Congressman Nadler, the next chairman of the Judiciary Committee, was saying. He's saying that these rise to the level of impeachable offenses, but he did not say that they're going to immediately pursue impeachment on this. And the reason why is because it's not a straight line. And when you talk to Democrats, when you talk to their leaders, Kate, you made the clear point. Leadership has been been very wary of going too far into this. They recognize that it's not just a purely legal process or a purely committee process based on policy. It's also a political process. And Democrats don't want to wander down a path or even head down a path when they know Republicans control the Senate. They might not have Republican help in the House. Those are the metrics that they're looking for right now. One of the more interesting sound bites of the weekend, though, came from Adam Schiff. He's the incoming chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, and he actually moved past Congress into what could happen if the president doesn't win re-election. Take a listen.
My takeaway is there's a very real prospect that on the day Donald Trump leaves office, the Justice Department may indict him, that he may be the first president in quite some time to face the real prospect of jail time.
Kate, obviously keying off those filings that the president directed the payments, and therefore the Southern District of New York may pursue criminal charges after he's no longer in office. That's where Democrats are right now. I think they're in a similar place, to sum it up, that a lot of people are. They're trying to figure out where the ground is laid right now. They're trying to figure out next steps. They're not quite ready to greenlight things yet. There's no question about it. They are eyeing what they're seeing and trying to figure out what happens next, Kate.
All right, great to see you, Phil. Thank you so much. Joining me now to discuss the politics of all of this, CNN political commentators Keith Boykin, he's a Democratic strategist and former Clinton White House aide, and Rob Astorino, he's a member of President Trump's Re-election Advisory Council. It's great to see both of you. Sorry for the frog in all of our throats. Keith, let's talk about impeachment here. For the longest time, it has seemed that top Democrats, Nancy Pelosi, Jerry Nadler, I've interviewed him a bunch of times, and they were careful to talk impeachment. And yes, Nadler was saying if these things are true, these would be impeachable offenses. He is very careful in his language. They were careful before, maybe because of the politics, maybe because they hadn't seen evidence of anything that would be impeachable. Either way, it seems that something has changed over the weekend.
Well, two things have changed in the past month. First, the Democrats won control of the House of Representatives, which means next month they'll have the power for accountability. And over the weekend, on Friday, we saw that Robert Mueller's office and the Southern District of New York issued charging statements, or essentially sentencing memos, that implicate the President of the United States in federal crimes.
But then leads to the question of, does a campaign finance violation, does that rise to the level of impeachment of a president?
Well, there are possibilities for here because, I mean, you think about the John Edwards case, there was a trial that took place in that case. In this case, we have the President of the United States engaging in a conspiracy to conceal not one but two different affairs that could have had an impact on the outcome of the election, and paying people at the same time to do so, and at the same time engaging in a fraud to violate the campaign finance laws, and at the same time engaging in a fraud to collude with Russia in some respect to build the Trump Tower and Moscow project and not revealing that to the public. You taken together, you have a reflection of fraud on the part of the President of the United States. And this is a guy who, 2 days before he took office, paid a $25 million fraud settlement for the Trump University.
So, I mean, Rob, you know, Clinton was impeached by the House for perjury, for lying. How does this compare?
Well, but and it's a very big difference because Clinton was the President of the United States. He did lie under oath, and he abused his office. Now, if you remember, the Republicans suffered. There was a lot of backlash, and as much as they pushed impeachment and did impeach him, Clinton just got more and more popular. This is something that happened a long time ago. He wasn't president. Not a single person in America probably thought.
Payments happened in 2016.
No, I'm talking about for Trump, I'm talking about the women, the Stormy Daniels payoffs and everything.
No. The illegal conduct took place in 2016. That's when he made the payments.
We don't know it's illegal, and the act itself took place 10 years before that.
The act, maybe the payment, the hush payment, which is the thing that actually matters here, happened in late 2016.
It does. If they can prove that he did it specifically and solely for political purposes. Nobody in America thought he was going to win the race, number one. He had and has a business that has a reputation. He has partners, business partners. He has a family. And I think logically most Americans could say, okay, I can see both sides. I can see he did it for private and personal reasons just as much if he did it for political.
Well, then let me pose this to you. Let me pose this to you because this might actually get maybe to what you're saying. The former FBI director Jim Comey, he was at the 92nd Street Y. He was giving a talk last night, and let me play what he had to say about impeachment. Listen to this.
I hope Donald Trump is not removed from office by impeachment because it would let the country off the hook, and it would drive into the fabric of our nation a third of the people believing there was a coup. And we need a moment of inflection where we all get off the couch and say, that is not who we are, and in a landslide rid ourselves of this attack on our values?
Do you agree with Comey on this?
I understand the political implications of impeachment. I understand Rob's argument about the danger of overreach in impeachment. However, I think that, and I'm not advocating for impeachment right now anyway. I think that there needs to be accountability. There need to be checks and balances. There need to be subpoenas and investigations and hearings to find out exactly what took place. There needs to be a thorough Robert Mueller investigation from the special counsel's office.
Right.
And we also need to remember here, this is not 12 angry Democrats doing this from the Southern District of New York, or 13, or whatever the number is Trump has generated for the day.
Rob's just trying to poke you.
My point is that this is Trump's own Justice Department. Trump's own hand-picked U.S. Attorney's office has implicated him in federal crimes. This is a serious offense, and wherever it leads is where it leads. If it leads to impeachment, let the chips fall where they may.
If you read the sentencing documents, they trash Michael Cohen. They're sitting there saying he's deceptive, he's a bad witness, he's uncooperative, he's this, that, and the other thing. And yet they're going to hang everything on Michael Cohen.
Didn't you?
Trump picked him as his attorney.
You clearly weren't listening to the top of my show. You clearly weren't listening to the top of my show because I asked that exact question.
I couldn't hear you with your throat.
The point being, Renato Mariotti says he's worked with a lot of scumbags. I'm not saying Michael Cohen's a scumbag. Right. He says he worked with a lot of scumbags that they wouldn't be a witness you'd use in court, but they were credible when it comes to their investigation.
But here's the point that I think Comey was trying to make and Keith was trying to make, and I agree. If you are going to impeach and try the President of the United States, you've got to have overwhelming support in the public. Like, you know what? That was something really bad.
So you want to base it on the polls?
No. But honestly, if you're going that far, this is something most Americans be like, you know, I don't know.
No,
or I don't think he did it right.
I will tell you, no matter what, Donald Trump hopes that's what a lot of Americans are thinking. That is the bottom line.
The point is you have to have hearings and investigations to see where it leads.
I can promise you two things. I can promise you one thing. The sun's going to rise tomorrow, and there are going to be investigations. Guys, great to see you. Thank you so much. We have some breaking news I want to get to right now. The Wall Street roller coaster is continuing right now. Trade tensions with China, amid trade tensions with China. The Dow down more than 400 points. We're going to go live to the stock exchange to see where this is going to take us today. We'll be right back.
Going to extremes for perfect skin? Where does it end? New Olay Whips. While not equal to cosmetic procedures, our B3 complex hydrates to smooth skin. Injections rejected. Beautiful skin accepted. Olay.
Opportunity is everywhere. Like here, where nothing stands between you and your best friends.
Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
Put a smile on everyone's face this holiday with great gifts from Amazon. With low prices and free shipping on millions of items. For everything you need this holiday, visit Amazon.
It's only a matter of time until your check engine light comes on, or worse yet, your car needs repair. That could mean a big surprise auto repair bill. Those repairs are more expensive than ever. A new engine can be over $5,000. A new transmission over $4,000. That's why it's so important you call CarShield today. CarShield is the #1 auto protection company in the country.
I like CarShield because they were reliable, they were affordable, and they were trustworthy.
Well, I think everybody should have CarShield. Once your manufacturer's warranty is expired, there's just no big bills. If we needed repairs, CarShield was there for us.
Now it's your turn to get the peace of mind that comes with having CarShield, so you can worry less about auto repairs. Call or go online right now to get CarShield for yourself. Friendly, knowledgeable, money-saving representatives are available 24 hours a day. So if your car is 20 years old or newer, just tell us the make and model of your car or truck to get an instant plan quote. In a matter of minutes, you can be covered.
I was elated that I had CarShield. I was more than happy.
It's no fun when you have a car and it's broken and you can't pay for it to get it fixed.
Here's how CarShield works. When your car needs repair, you take it to your favorite mechanic or even your dealer, and CarShield gets them paid directly. That's why CarShield is America's #1 auto protection provider.
CarShield is just the best thing to take away the fear that when something is going to go wrong with your car, because it will, and CarShield is going to be there to back you up.
My experience with CarShield is that they absolutely come through every time I need them.
If my car breaks down, I can count on CarShield to cover it for me. CarShield definitely has my back.
Now it's the time to make the smart choice and protect yourself from sky-high auto repair bills. Call now for a free and instant protection plan quote. It's only a matter of time until repairs are needed, and once your car breaks down, it's too late.
Call 1-800-915-9597. That's 1-800-915-9597.
In an era of online retail where everything is just a few clicks away, buying a car should be no different. That's why at Carvana, you can buy a car 100% online. We made it easy to browse, view, and buy from over 10,000 cars. You can even trade in your old car, all while binge watching your favorite TV show. Afterwards, we'll deliver your car to you, or you can pick it up from one of our car vending machines. Either way, your car comes with a 7-day return policy. So grab a seat, relax in your comfy pants, and enjoy the new way to buy a car at Carvana.
Are you ready for it?
Yeah, it's like CNN gone wild.
TMI, too much.
Out where I live, some people think it's hard to get high-speed internet. But it's easy with HughesNet. HughesNet is satellite internet, perfect for people like me in places like this. And HughesNet Gen 5 is better than ever.
It's fast, so you can finally have the speed you need. And with unlimited data, you can do even more online. Plus, there's built-in Wi-Fi, so you can get online from wherever you're most comfortable.
You even get free standard installation and a price lock guarantee. Hey, Bob. Now that's a good deal. We love where we live. And with HughesNet, we have it all. Right here at home.
Get HughesNet where you live today. For a limited time, standard installation is free, so don't wait. To order, call 1-800-661-7302. That's 1-800-661-7302. Call now.
The Situation Room with Wolf Blitzer, today at 5 Eastern on CNN.
Another rough day so far for Wall Street as the Dow is plunging hundreds of points in early trading. Let's get over there. CNN's Christina Leshy is at the New York Stock Exchange with a look. Christina, what's going on?
Investors want answers, and they're not getting them. They want to know whether or not Britain will have an orderly exit from the European Union. They want to know whether or not the Fed is going to do another rate hike. And they want to know what's going on with the trade war. And right now, the answers to all of those questions are unknown, and that is what is driving a lot of the jitters today. In the longer term, though, you do have investors and traders starting to wonder about the underlying fundamental economics and the economy and economic growth, and whether or not we can continue to have the strong economic growth domestically, especially when it comes to the United States. We've seen very strong jobs numbers. Obviously, we had a very strong jobs report on Friday. The question is, does it continue? And we're seeing some banks and big investors and economists starting to question that and look for cracks in the economy. Kate?
Yeah, the announcement from Theresa May on delaying that Brexit vote, not helping in this at all either. Christina, great to see you. Thank you so much. Coming up next for us, we have new revelations from the special counsel. Wyatt has one of my next guests saying the country is now nearing a worst-case scenario when it comes to the president and Russia.
When my hot water heater failed, she was pregnant, in-laws were coming, a little bit of water, it rocked our world.
I had no idea the amount of damage that water could do.
We called USAA, and they greeted me as they always do. Sergeant Baker, how are you? They were on it. It was unbelievable. Having insurance is something everyone needs, but having USAA, that's a privilege. We're the Bakers, and we're USAA members for life.
USAA. Get your insurance quote today.
This is cellulose acetate, a plant-based material that's not only extremely durable, but also quite flexible, making it ideal for Warby Parker glasses, which, by the way, start at $95, including prescription lenses. Try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com.
Good, they're here. You can just leave them on the porch.
Let ADT help protect your packages this holiday season. Package Protection Service. Brought to you by ADT.
Shh. That's it. Sleep tight, little one.
Thanks, Mom. You take such good care of him.
That's what grandmas do.
I don't know what we'd do without you.
Well, I made sure you'll have help even after I'm gone.
after you're gone. Mom, are you okay?
Everything is fine. Just so you know, I got a life insurance policy, so when the time comes, I won't leave you a financial mess. Let's face it, there will be a funeral and maybe medical bills. It's not an inheritance or anything, but it will help cover my expenses.
I don't want to think about that.
Well, you don't have to. I already took care of it. And with this policy, I can earn discounts, get rewards, and even get tips on how to live healthy. That could help me be around even longer for that little guy.
Final expense life insurance with guaranteed acceptance from John Hancock can help people age 60 to 80 sleep easier. It helps your family take care of funeral costs, medical bills, and other debts. The average funeral alone is between $8,000 and $9,000. Without insurance, could your family pay the bill? Final expense life insurance can help, and acceptance is guaranteed with no medical questions or exams. Rates start around $13 a month, and policies range from $2,000 to $20,000, so you can select the best fit for your needs and budget. Here's another guarantee. Payments never go up, and coverage never goes down for as long as you live. It also comes with confidence. For more than 150 years, John Hancock has helped meet the needs of more than 18 million customers. Plus, you can earn discounts, get rewards, and receive healthy living tips through the John Hancock Vitality Program. Best of all, it's easy. You can apply by phone or online.
Call 1-800-813-1088 or go online to learn more about final expense life insurance with guaranteed acceptance. That's 1-800-813-1088. Call now.
It's all wide open space out here, but there's still no room for nonsense. And while the clock moves slower, no one here has time to waste. Small towns are different that way. Folks don't want to buy what you're selling. They want to believe what you're saying. So tell the truth, bring your best, and show them you're here to stay.
Dish was built by serving small towns all across America. It's why we'll show up when promised, stay till you're satisfied, and deliver the strongest connection. Dish, tuned in to you.
Step into the holiday season with confidence. Lift up your spirits and unwrap a new you with the Bowflex Holiday Sale. Happening for a limited time right now. Enjoy our best deals of the year on the Bowflex Tread Climber, the new Bowflex Lateral X, our Select Tech dumbbells, and the all-new Bowflex Max Trainer that adapts to you with customized workouts. Find your fit this holiday and save big with our Bowflex Holiday Sale, going on now at bowflex.com.
XL guys aren't built like everyone else. That's why DXL isn't built like any other clothing store, with sizes starting at XL, from Lacoste to Levi's, Brooks Brothers, and more. Built to fit, built XL, DXL.
Closed captioning brought to you by OnlyMeso.com.
Mesothelioma, it's all we do. With 7 offices across the country, let us come meet with you. Call us at 1-800-213-8000.
With the latest filings in court Friday, CNN now counts at least 16 associates of Donald Trump had contacts with Russians during the 2016 campaign and transition. 16 people in his orbit. Just how damaging could those latest revelations from the special counsel and federal prosecutors be for the country? Well, one of our next guests says we are now nearing a, quote, worst-case scenario. Joining me now is Garrett Graff, a CNN contributor, author of The Threat Matrix, Inside Robert Mueller's FBI and the War on Global Terror, and CNN national security analyst Samantha Vinograd. She was a senior advisor to the National Security Advisor during the Obama administration. It's great to see you guys. Garrett, we don't have Mueller's report, but you say the country is already approaching this worst-case scenario now when it comes to Russia. Why is that?
Yeah, from a counterintelligence perspective, the worst-case scenario is to have a foreign power have leverage over your head of state. For them to have some sort of intelligence operation or even blackmail that can convince a head of state to act against their country's best interests. And what we already know from the Trump investigation by Special Counsel Robert Mueller, especially after these last 10 days of revelations from Michael Cohen, Michael Flynn, and Paul Manafort, is that Russia has had leverage over Donald Trump over the last 2 years. That even if the American people didn't know that Donald Trump had been pursuing this Trump Trump Tower Moscow deal, Russia did, and that they knew that the Trump administration was lying to the American people about that. Beyond that, we see these Michael Flynn telephone calls that he lied to the public about as well. And it's clear from those 16 contacts that there was an expensive and extensive effort by Russian intelligence through Russian intelligence to penetrate and make contact with the Trump campaign, which they welcomed with open arms, which is what we are continuing to find out, is that they embraced this help as it came from Russians offering what in Friday's court filing was called, quote unquote, political synergy, which I think is a cute synonym for collusion.
Sam, if this is the case, what is the impact on American foreign policy?
Well, Kate, it has a direct impact on the policy the administration might be trying to pursue even today. Can you imagine trying to work on democracy promotion today at the White House, leaving aside Russia policy, trying to go out and call for free and transparent elections around the world today, if you're at the State Department or USAID, is going to be increasingly difficult based upon the revelations that the president himself was not transparent during his own election. We have to practice what we preach on these issues. And I can tell you, during the 4 years that I spent at the White House, I never once walked into the Situation Room and heard President Obama issue a decision and think to myself, is he making that for the right reasons? If you are working on Russia policy at the White House right now, I don't think there's really any certainty, even today, that when the president, if he actually holds a National Security Council meeting on Russia, is going to come out with a policy decision that's based on what's best for our country and perhaps not what's best for him.
Garrett, the president makes the case today, and we can put up the tweet, but looking past the spelling errors, that the Democrats can't find a smoking gun tying the Trump campaign to Russia. Is he right? I mean, we haven't seen a direct link of collusion between the campaign and the Russian government.
Yeah, but what we are seeing is the development, sort of building block by building block, of a pretty extensive conspiracy. And remember, Robert Mueller and federal prosecutors have outlined in recent months 2 separate criminal conspiracies that operated to help elect Donald Trump in 2016. One was run by the Russian government with the Internet Research Agency and the Military Intelligence Unit, GRU. And the other was this campaign finance scheme run by Michael Cohen and individual number 1, a.k.a. Donald Trump. What we now know from Michael Cohen's plea agreement is that the central figure in one of those criminal conspiracies, Michael Cohen, was attempting to contact and get assistance from the central figure in the other criminal conspiracy, Vladimir Putin. And that's a stunning revelation. And we are deep into the territory of what are sort of once unthinkable scenarios about a foreign power intervening in a major way to change our American democracy.
Sam, something you said earlier I want to ask you about. If you were advising the president, or you were advising the National Security Council right now on Russia policy, what do you do with all of this information coming in? Are those conversations happening?
They might be happening, but the best thing that the president could do right now when it comes to Russia policy is to actually engage with his National Security Council team. We had countless meetings in the Situation Room that involved the full cabinet. We went through deliberations at every level of government that was based upon intelligence about what Vladimir Putin was trying to achieve. And part of that intelligence, Kate, would probably say that Vladimir Putin is benefiting from this whole aura of disorganization at the White House and the president's fixation on discrediting the Mueller investigation, which is a linchpin of our democracy. So the best thing that the president can do from a Russia policy perspective right now is stop tweeting and spend more time in the Situation Room with his team.
All right, well, we will see if that happens. Great to see you, Sam. Thanks, Garrett. I really appreciate it. It was a really interesting read. Coming up, there's that, and then there's also this. The Supreme Court is handing down a big win today to Planned Parenthood, letting stand lower court rulings that states cannot block Medicaid contracts to the organization. Let's go over to CNN's justice correspondent, Jessica Schneider. She has all the details. Jessica, what exactly did the court do today?
Well, Kate, all of this means that Planned Parenthood, their affiliates, will keep their Medicaid funding, and states cannot terminate contracts between Medicaid and those Planned Parenthood offices that provide that preventative care for low-income women. But really, what's important to note here is that the Supreme Court, they didn't directly rule. Instead, they actually decided not to hear this case, and that's what kept the lower court ruling in place. And that decision not to take this case, it actually gives us some interesting insight into the Supreme Court itself and how these justices are moving forward now with Justice Brett Kavanaugh on the court here. So both Justice Kavanaugh and the Chief Justice, John Roberts, they actually sided with the court's liberals today in deciding not to take this case. Now, on the flip side, the court's three solidly conservative justices, Thomas, Alito, and Gorsuch, they issued a dissent saying that the Supreme Court should have taken up this case. So, Kate, what's interesting is this really shows how Chief Justice Roberts, also Junior Justice Kavanaugh, they might be trying to avoid any cases that encompass high-profile abortion-related issues, at least for now. The two of them siding with the liberals today. Interesting.
Very, very interesting. Jessica, great to see you. Thanks. I really appreciate it. Coming up still for us, more than a month after the midterms, a North Carolina congressional seat is still in limbo after some really stunning allegations of election fraud. So where does that race stand right now? What happens now? Is the state going to now force them to carry out an entirely new election? We'll be right back.
Your insurance rates skyrocket after a scratch so small you could fix it with a pen. How about using that pen to sign up for new insurance instead?
For drivers with accident forgiveness, Liberty Mutual won't raise their rates because of their first accident. Switch and you could save $782 on home and auto insurance. Call 1-888-592-3456 for a free quote today. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Dick, I want you to be my VP. Oh, George, come on. Lone Ranger needs a Tonto.
Vice has more Golden Globe nominations than any movie this year.
This is going to be fun.
Including Christian Bale, Best Actor, Amy Adams, Best Supporting Actress, Sam Rockwell, Best Supporting Actor, and Best Picture of the Year.
I'll handle energy, military, foreign policy. I like that.
This isn't something that a vice president really does.
Huh? It is now.
Vice, rated R.
You eat healthy, take statins, but still struggle to lower your LDL bad cholesterol. You also have heart disease and fear a heart attack or stroke could strike without warning, pulling you away from everything you love. Because with high LDL, your risk of a heart attack or stroke is real. Now you can reduce that risk with Repatha. Repatha plus a statin dramatically lowers your LDL bad cholesterol by 63% and is proven to significantly drop your risk of having a devastating heart attack or stroke.
Do not take Repatha if you're allergic to it. Repatha may cause serious allergic reactions. Signs include redness, severe rash or itching, swollen face or trouble breathing. Most common side effects include runny nose, sore throat, common cold symptoms, flu or flu-like symptoms, back pain, high blood sugar, and redness, pain, or bruising at the injection site.
Don't let a heart attack or stroke come between you and everything you love. Tell your doctor you're ready to lower your LDL and reduce your risk for real with Repatha.
Pay no more than $5 per month with the Repatha copay card.
Anyone can retire, but retire well? That's different. At Fisher Investments, we spent 40 years helping people achieve a comfortable retirement. All that experience is yours free in our Guide to a Comfortable Retirement. It gives you what our advisors share with our clients, plus valuable experience from our clients as they enter retirement. And it's yours free.
Call now for your free retirement guide with insights from legendary money manager Ken Fisher. Call 1-800-759-4477.
At Fisher, it's in our interest to help you do better. The better you do, the better we do. If you have more than $500,000 to invest, talk to us.
You'll also receive as a bonus our Stock Market Outlook, a timely assessment of where the market goes from here. Also free. Call 1-800-759-4477.
A comfortable retirement isn't just a place you get to. You have to make it happen. We can help.
Call 1-800-759-4477.
I always felt that my comedy was just to make things be all right.
It's the story of my life.
I
I had a lot of root canals, extractions, always in dental pain. I knew dentures would not be right for me because I'm too active.
Had a lot of cavities, root canals, eating anything cold, it would hurt so bad.
I was embarrassed of my teeth. I don't think dentures were ever a solution. The only option for me was Clear Choice.
The Clear Choice one-day approach is making dental implants a reality for people all over the country who suffer from missing or failing teeth.
Because we have the surgeon and the prosthodontist and the lab in one facility working together as a team, we can perform this procedure in one day.
They put these beautiful teeth in my mouth, and I can eat ice cream, I can eat steak.
Schedule your free consultation today. We'll even talk about financing options.
I went to Clear Choice for new teeth, and I got so much more. They changed my life.
I get at least 5 or 6 compliments a day at work and go, wow, those teeth, they're gorgeous. All because of Clear Choice.
Call Clear Choice today.
I know that you like my style. I know that you like my style.
It's been nearly 5 weeks since Americans went to the polls in the midterm elections. In North Carolina, not only is it not over, though, they may very well have to do it all over again in one race. Here's where things stand right now in the state's 9th congressional district. Republican Mark Harris, he's ahead by 905 votes over Democrat Dan McCready. But that is nowhere near the end of the story. The State Board of Elections is investigating allegations of election fraud focused on a whole lot of questionable absentee ballots. And if they find evidence of misconduct, they can order another election. But one thing we know right now is it is a mess. Joining me right now is Dallas Woodhouse. He's the executive director of the North Carolina Republican Party. Dallas, it's good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Sure.
What is the latest that you're hearing on when the state's going to have a final word here from the State Board of Elections?
Well, we don't exactly know. We think there'll be a public hearing here in the next couple of weeks, probably around December 20th, somewhere in that range. That will be the first time that we hear, some detailed information about the actual allegations. I have a column out this morning just published praising the media for bringing sunlight and disinfectant to an issue that has plagued North Carolina for well over a decade. We've had a systematic failure to address this between 3 different administrations of governors, many boards of elections, state and local prosecutors. That systematic failure includes us. It includes the other party. And I really think the question of who's going to be seated in the 9th District is now a secondary question of having to root out this systematic failure and cultural, political corruption in the southeastern part of our state, which is really a scourge on our democracy.
Well, look, I mean, it is a huge problem if they find out where kind of the evidence seems to be pointing right now. That's for sure. But in the most immediate, you do need to figure out what's going to...
and disgusting.
In the most immediate, though, you do need to figure out what's going to happen with this seat, right? I mean, you need to seat somebody and send him to Congress. You told my colleague Drew Griffin that when you saw his piece about these strange things going on with the absentee ballots, and the stories that people were telling him, that made you throw up. It makes me wonder then, if what we know already made you sick to your stomach, why not just call for a do-over right now instead of even waiting for the Board of Elections?
Well, because that would not match the legal standard. Remember that 286,000 people cast ballots that are not in question. Most of those people would be disenfranchised in a special election, which would only see about 25 to 40,000 people vote. So as good as the media reports are, we need to see the actual evidence from investigators. And if it rises to a level that the evidence shows that there needs to be a new election, we, of course, will not oppose that at all.
If the Board of Elections does order a do-over because of misconduct, is the state Republican Party going to continue to support Mark Harris?
The North Carolina Republican Party will, as it's obligated to do, support the candidate selected by our voters or by our executive committee in the 9th Congressional District. And by the way, I know Mr. Harris personally. I believe in him. It is hard for me to conceive a situation that he was a part of this or knew anything. Most of the time, Kate, when people say, I can't see it, I couldn't see it, I literally could not see it. My mind can't get around on that. I hope
hear
I'm
you,
not
but
wrong,
now it
but
just comes out that $34,000 is how much Harris's campaign still owes that company that contracted with the guy at the center of all of this. And it's not for nothing for quote-unquote reimbursement payment for Bladen absentee, Bladen County.
I think the key part of that filing is they did not, in fact, pay that.
But they owe it. They knew it was happening.
Well, they may have owed it for what they believed was legitimate activities and are not going to pay for activities they now know may be questionable.
Do you trust that Harris had no part of this?
I believe that. I believe it in my heart.
All right, we'll see what comes. We will see what comes forward from the State Board of Elections. Dallas, thanks for coming on. We'll stick with it. Come back on and we'll talk about this more. Appreciate your time. Coming up for us still, the powerful winter storm pummels the southeast with snow and ice. But it isn't over yet. Why the worst could still be ahead for some folks in the south. Be right back.
Kenya Tea Development Agency is an organization that is owned by tea farmers. Every week we sell this tea, get paid in multiple accounts. We were looking for a bank to provide a safe and efficient technology platform to pay our farmers. Citi was the only one that was able to ensure that this was done seamlessly. And today, at the touch of a button, all the farmers are able to get their money, pay school fees, and improve their standard of living. With Citi, we see a bright future for our farmers and their families.
Luis? Stephanie? Hola. Hi.
Opportunity is everywhere. Like here, where you can explore the world, knowing you can always find your way home.
Missed out on this? Don't worry. The biggest deal is happening right now at T-Mobile. When you buy one of the latest Samsung phones, you get a free 50-inch Samsung 4K TV.
Seriously?
Seriously.
No!
T-Mobile is giving you a free 50-inch TV.
Holy, you gotta be kidding.
This deal won't last long, so get your free Samsung TV at a T-Mobile store today.
To celebrate the Grinch movie, IHOP has all new Grinch pancakes, mint hot chocolate, and kids eat free from 4 to 10 p.m. Right, Mr. Grinch? Get IHOP's new Grinch pancakes and see the Grinch in theaters.
There's only one you, with your own goals and motivations, your own definition of healthy and happy. So why isn't there a workout made just for you? Now there is. I am Max, the breakthrough fitness intelligence platform only on the new Bowflex Max Trainer. I'll learn your capabilities. Can you give me one more? And help you reach your goals. We can start at only 4 minutes. Don't worry, we'll take it slow. But I know how to get you to 30. Yeah, bring the fire. I'm the coach that can meet you and you and you, beginner to athlete, and adapt with personalized workouts as unique as your fingerprint and find the right fit for you. I am Max, only on the new Bowflex Max Trainer. Personalized fitness is here. Hurry, order by the 18th for Christmas delivery at Bowflex.com.
Are you ready for it?
Yes!
I've been waiting for it.
It's like CNN gone wild.
My heat has just kicked in big time. TMI. Too much. Oh.
That is a reason to tune in.
Have you been told you can't get high-speed internet where you live? Well, you can with HughesNet Gen 5. Experience the power of next-generation satellite internet wherever you live. HughesNet Gen 5 is fast. You'll get 25 megabits per second, plus built-in Wi-Fi, and there's no hard data limits. So wherever you live, now you can do more of everything you love online. Connect on social media, stay informed, watch the latest videos, and help your kids get ahead. No wonder HughesNet is America's #1 choice for satellite internet.
Act now to save big and get a 2-year price lock guarantee, plus free standard installation.
So what are you waiting for? Get HughesNet Gen 5.
To order, call 1-800-748-5218. Be sure to ask about our home phone service too. Call 1-800-748-5218 today.
This is CNN, the most trusted name in news.
So the first winter storm is fading. Millions in the southeast are starting to assess the damage, and the danger isn't over yet. CNN meteorologist Chad Myers, he's tracking all of this for us right now. Hey there, Chad.
A little bit of melting during the day, Kate, and then freezing again back at night. So what could have just been a wet sidewalk by tomorrow morning will be a frozen one. That's where the danger lies in the next couple of days. Models did very well. To be honest, this wasn't a surprise snowstorm. Richmond got a little more, Charlotte got a little less than the models were saying, but temperatures right now are warming up. We're in the 40s. There's still a little bit of light rain coming around. That rain will again freeze up tonight on contact with that colder air, because certainly even though we're going to be somewhere in the 40s today over the entire area,